Alright, on today's video we got something kind of unique and different. We have the Axial Wraith and we're going to be putting a speaker box in the back. Now what I've done is I've just taken some cardboard or just basically some paper, and I've cut it to make me some templates so that I can build a taco. Now this taco is going to kind of go right here. It's going to be positioned in there, and then I'm going to take my two speakers that we're going to be putting inside. They're going to actually go inside this speaker box. So what I've done is just taken some tin foil and wrapped it around. Basically, this is a old for sale sign, and then I'm just cutting it, getting it into position. So I've cut this side, I've cut this side, and so when I put it together, basically it's similar to this, you see, okay? And then I'm going to build it into a taco, and then I'm going to just cover it, and then I'm going to do fiberglass over the top of this. So this is the Axial Wraith. We're putting a speaker box system in, a little iPod shuffle in the back. We also have a circuit board that we're going to be wiring up so that it'll run off of the LiPo battery. So we're going to get started. I'll take you in a little bit closer here so you can see. So what I did is I just basically built these little panels out of that for sale sign. Okay, and just to kind of make them fit. So that's the front, this is the bottom, this is the back. And then I just covered it with the tin foil, which we're going to put the fiberglass over the top of this. And then it'll kind of fill in these gaps once we get it all positioned into place. So that's kind of what it looks like on the inside there. Alright, now I got the speaker boxes built, and I just put a little piece of plastic over the edge just to make it nice and smooth. And then this is what I'm going to actually fiberglass over. And then that's the first speaker box, and that is the second speaker box. And I will have some trimming to do when I'm all done, but then I'll mount the two speakers here on this one and two speakers on this one. Now our next step, we're going to actually make the fiberglass enclosure. I just taken an old sheet and I cut out a couple pieces, and what I'm going to do is I want to build the face. I want to build the part where the speakers actually mount to. I want to build that first. So I'm just going to lay this old sheet on here. Then I'm going to put it down like this, and then I'm going to hot glue it all the way around and then fold it so that it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to fiberglass this piece, and that'll give me this edge, and then we'll build the back after that. One speaker box that goes on this side, and if you look, you can see I just went around and seamed it all up. Okay, the way this looks is I just take a bead of glue and I'll go down here with the bead of glue, and then I'll roll it. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess. So when I'm all done, I'll have a really nice edge, really nice sharp edge. And what I might also do is just put a little bead right there, and I'll just kind of tap it with my finger, so to kind of get rid of that edge, if you can see that. Alright, I'm just going to go over and glue the whole thing down, and then I'm going to start fiberglassing it. Alright, now when I fiberglass this, I don't want these to stick to the cardboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some blue masking tape. I'm just going to tape right over the cardboard. Alright, now to make sure that that doesn't stick, what we want to do is put a little bit of wax on it, and I'm just going to use this MIGHY's wax cleaner that we use for our detailing. And all you have to do is just rub that on here. That way the fiberglass won't stick to it. Right, here's my fiberglass that I'm using. It's just a Bondo brand. You can pick it up at Walmart. I'm going to use a cup and a paintbrush. Alright, so there's really, I don't really have a method to mixing the right combination. I just make sure that I'm outdoors and make sure that I wear a mask because it's very strong. So I'm just going to take some fiberglass resin, about this much. I don't need very much because I'm just doing a small first thin coat. Now this will shrink back a little bit, so I want to make sure I don't use too much material on the panels, because if I do, when it starts to shrink back, it'll start to shrink this actual box, and that's what I don't want. So I'm going to do a real light thin coat. Okay, poke the hole in the top here, and I'm just going to put, I don't know, not that much. It's kind of warm out, so I don't need a whole bunch. But I can kind of tell how hot I want it just by, I've done it enough times. Might even put a little bit more fiberglass in there. Now this is just fiberglass resin, okay? This is just basically what makes the fiberglass one liquid piece. So then I'm just gonna just drip some on here, and I'm gonna go grab some rubber gloves so that I don't get it all over myself. In my first days of doing fiberglass work, I used to just not worry about wearing gloves and then try to get the fiberglass off your skin. Kind of tough. So it's just better to wear some rubber gloves. So I don't want to put, like I said, I don't want a whole bunch on here. I just want to get the cast made. And now this will stick to the cloth, but it won't stick to the tin foil. So when we get done making this, I'll cut it back open. I'll take out the foam and the material that I used to make the cast, but I won't need anything else, and then I will just fiberglass it back together. And I'll show you that on another clip, maybe another video. But that's going to be pretty much all we're doing tonight. I will go over and reinforce this, but I'll do this on tomorrow's video. I just wanted to kind of show you how to build this and get it all positioned. And as you can see, I labeled the boxes so I know which one's which. And then I'll go through and just finish this one up. I'm using is just a little fiberglass mat. Okay, you can get that from the same place you can get this stuff. Usually they're together, and it comes in a package like this. And I just cut a couple strips up. I'll put one on the back side. This is just to kind of reinforce it. Okay, and then I'll put a couple in the front to reinforce the front. And then I will take my resin and just kind of glue that on there. Now what this is gonna do, just gonna give me a little bit of strength. I don't need a lot because these speakers are not very big. They're more cosmetically, but I want this enclosure to be tight too so that it sounds good. So I will just lay some of this fiberglass resin on there, kind of reinforce it, and that's pretty much it for applying fiberglass. Now with the fiberglass mat and the resin, that is what people are referring to as I'm going to fiberglass an enclosure. You're using a resin, you're also using a fiberglass mat, and that's what gives us our strength. Okay, so I don't think I'll worry about anything on the bottom. I don't need that much rigidity to it. Actually, I don't want it to shrink too much, because the more material you put on, the more chances you have of it shrinking, and then it kind of changes the shape. So you have to be careful to not mix it too hot. When I say too hot, too much hardener. Okay, this is your hardener, and so pretty much that's all we're going to do tonight. And we'll come back tomorrow after this dries, and we'll put another video together of sanding it down and maybe putting some Bondo on it.